Hi there. Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast with me, Russell Davis. This week, we're looking at the subject of fear. I think everyone feels fear from one degree or another. Fear of not being happy, fear of not creating the life we want. Anxiety is a form of fear. And if anger is fear, fear puts tension in our body. Fear is not pleasant. So how can we let go of fear? Well, how can we change our relationship with fear? How can we stop being held back by fear? How can we stop carrying that fear and anxiety in our system? Well, let's dive in and find out. Let's talk about fear. A lot of people have a fear of failure. Actually, often it's a fear of success without knowing it, or a fear of the unknown, fear of not being in control. And we know that fear often holds us back from creating and living more the life we want. There's a film, it's an okay film, it's not a great film, it's an okay film. I can't remember the actual title of it. It's something, we bought a zoo, the family bought a zoo. And it's based on a true story where, a family did buy a zoo. And they had no experience of running a zoo, but they had a massive, fabulous venture of buying a zoo and running a zoo. And the family, the mother had died, passed away, and there was quite young children. And the father was telling the story of how he met their mother to the kids. And he was saying how he was walking down the street and just saw her in the window of a cafe, and he just stopped, and he was just captivated. And it was one of those moments, does he be brave and go and say something or not? And he was saying how he believed you could do anything in life if you could have 15 seconds of courage. With 15 seconds of courage, you can do anything you want in life. And I think there's a lot of truth in that. Often we want to get rid of fear, not feel fear. I remember having a coaching session with a coach, my current coach, but this was many years ago, in a training, and he was delivering. And I was up front, and he was coaching me in front of the room as a demonstration. And he said, "So what do you want?" I said, "I don't want to feel fear." And I can't remember what the situation was in this situation. "I just don't want to feel fear." And he said, "Well, I can't do that." It's like, I said, "Hang on a minute. I think you're a fabulous coach, and you can do amazing things, and why not?" And I think he probably knew me, my personality, knew me very well. And I was looking for solutions. I was looking for someone to do some magic and take away the fear. And the truth is, we can't do that. He said, what you need is courage. What you need is courage. And the more we understand the nature of fear, the easier that is. The less attention you pay to the fear, the more you can act despite the fear. The more you can act despite the fear. So let's unpack a little bit. What is fear? What is fear? Well, fear is the misuse of imagination. Fear is pure imagination. We're not scared of what we think we're scared of. We're scared of what we think. We're scared of the idea of it. There's plenty of times in life we've been scared of something. When it comes to it, wasn't an issue, we did it. Parachute jumps. I know plenty of people who've done a parachute jump. I know lots of people who've done a parachute jump, and they've enjoyed it. They didn't enjoy the build-up. They didn't enjoy it getting into the plane. They probably didn't enjoy it sitting on the edge of the plane. But once they'd done it, they said it was exhilarating. And they get to the ground with a big smile on their face, beaming, and they'd love to do it all over again. So the other side of fear is where the magic happens. But it's the idea of it is the fear, not actually it. We're fully present to something. We can't have fear. If there's a tiger in the room with you, you couldn't be scared if you're purely present to it, 100% present to it. Fear is future thinking. What's it going to do? What's it going to do? So fear is thought, is imagination, based upon past life experiences, assumptions, perceptions we've made about ourselves and life. So fear is the misuse of imagination. Or if we can hold it more lightly. What if we can hold it more lightly? What if it doesn't mean we're going the wrong direction? What if it means we're going the right direction? Coming out of our comfort zone. There's a difference between physical danger and psychological fear. You walk across too close to the edge of a cliff, you're going to get nervous. That's there to protect you. It's like, okay, what's going on? Let's check in with that. Fear is like a smoke alarm. If your smoke alarm goes off in your house, what do? You put it and run out of the house. You go and check, see what's prompted it. Is there a real risk? Is it a fire, or you burn the toast again? Fear, what if the fear is the same? It's just, okay, what's going on? Because 9 times out of 10, you'll find it's not a physical danger. It's a psychological story. It's a story. Ask yourself, where's the fear coming from? Is it a physical danger, or is it my imagination? And more often than not, it's imagination. It's imagination. And fear is often the unknown. Fear wants to know you're going to be okay. Fear wants to know you're going to be okay. But what happens if you do something and it doesn't go to plan? You do the talk, it doesn't go that well. You ask someone out, they say no. Often we fear feeling bad, feeling rejection, we fear the unknown. We fear rejection, we fear failure. But what if those aren't bad things? We just think they are. What if they're not bad things, we just think they are? In the unknown, there's possibility. There's immense possibility in the unknown. What if there's no such thing as failure? It's just learning. It's growth. It's feedback. Google celebrate failure. It means they're stretching themselves, pushing the limits. They're not failing. They're not stretching. They're not pushing the limits of technology and innovation. So fear is the misuse of imagination. Well, if you can know you're going to be okay whatever happens, you've got the resource you need to deal with it. When you're fully present, your resources show up. When you're fully present, your resources show up. I've talked before about doing a pizza walk, going into a shop that's nothing to do with food and asking for a pizza with a straight face. For most people, the idea of that terrifies them. I've done it. It terrified me beforehand. When you open your mouth, there's no fear. When you're present, there's no fear. So the imagination is telling all these stories. What could happen might happen, and it feels scary. Because it thinks our okayness is dependent on certain outcomes, some external criteria, external circumstances. That's being outside in. That's being outside in. The more we live from the inside out, the less we have fear. The less we have fear. I'm going to share one of my favourite stories. A story from Michael Neal. Imagine living in a world stalked by a hungry dragon. For many of us, our first priority would be to build a castle to protect us. But what to build a castle out of? Some people try to use money to build the walls of their castle. If only I have enough money, they think, the dragon will not be able to get me and I'll be safe. They spend their lives desperately earning as much as they can and fearfully spending as little as possible, convinced if they can accumulate enough, the dragon will never be able to scale the walls. Others build their castle walls out of approval, adulation and fame. If only people love, respect and admire me enough, they think, the dragon will not be able to get me and I'll be safe. Each new bit of acclaim is like another brick in the castle wall, while each shot of their reputation is like a battering ram against the gates. Still others attempt to build their castle walls with sex and intimate relationships. If I can get one person to really love me, or healthy living, if I just eat all the right things and do the right things, or the pursuit of power and position to keep themselves safe. But as you can imagine, not everyone is successful at building and defending their castle. And even those that do it well get bitten by the dragon from time to time. And if you haven't been bitten by a dragon before, well, let's say it's extremely painful. So some people learn to drink or smoke or eat or gamble or even bite their nails to numb the pain and to mitigate the continual anxiety of having to defend themselves against a dragon who, as every child knows, could be lurking around every corner or hidden behind the deceptive smile of strangers posing as friends. But what would happen if you woke up one day and realized beyond a shadow of doubt there is no dragon? If you could see that what you thought was the dragon's shadow was in fact just a shadow of a thought. If you could really see there was no dragon, all anxiety and stress would dissipate almost immediately. And the cacophony of dragon-avoiding activity would come to immediate end as well. Nails would no longer be bitten, or approval sought, or food, money, drugs consumed. We would stop those things if the source of the anxiety was no longer there. In short, you could simply relax and enjoy your life. Of course, things don't always turn out as you hoped, and from time to time you might even see something that looked like a bit like a dragon, or feel something that hurt you as badly as a dragon's bite. Before you could get too caught up in it, something would happen to remind you that you're never afraid of what you think you're afraid of. You're afraid of what you think. And in just a few moments, you'll return to your natural state of health and ease and well-being. The more we see the true nature of our thoughts, the true source of fear, imagination, the more we can hold it lightly, the more we can step out of our comfort zone, be our true self, make the choices that serve us, make the choices that move us toward what we want to create in our life. And that brings more ease, more happiness, more joy, inspiration. You create a bigger vision for your life. And that's where the magic happens. Loving you.